guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a little deep cleaning of my feed slash tool room. I did one of these videos on my tack room and you guys seem to enjoy it, but this video is going to be a little bit different, I guess. In that video I did like a lot of speed cleaning, but today we're gonna slow it down a little bit and chat while I clean this mess. Cause yeah, this place is due for a clean. I was gonna do it like 2 months ago when I did the tack room, and then like I just didn't. So today we're doing the feed room. That is a mess. So if the lighting will let you see, I have all of my feed bins lined up along the back wall. And then I intended for this to be like just for the feed, not for tack, but like I have a hook of halters over there that you can't see right now. I've got 3 non-usable or not in work saddles in here. I've got a tote of Christmas stuff over here. There's like just a bunch of stuff like thrown in here, and today I'm gonna go through it and clean it a little bit and chat with you guys while I do. But yeah, this is my feed room. All of this up here is like tools and stuff. So let's get started. So first off, we have a bag of birdseed that looks good. I might just dump this in a feeder, so I'm just gonna throw this out here. Sugar is also wandering around behind the camera, so hopefully she doesn't knock anything over, but no promises. Have a whip, which shouldn't be in here. I do like to keep the halters in here, just a few of them, because it's a lot closer. This is the one I had on Oakley. Oakley, I think, is going to be ready to start groundwork like fairly soon. I actually want to work with her later today. After I'm done with this video and cleaning, I am going to go to the horse ranch that I grew up at. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but I've talked about it in a lot of videos. I grew up working at a small horse ranch in my hometown, and one of my lesson kids actually went to camp this year, so they do like this little show, which isn't an actual like horse show, but they call it the show at the end of the week, where they do like a little skit basically with their horses, and they do it to like God Bless the USA song, and it's pretty cool. I mean, they've been doing that since I was a camper, but she went to camp this year and she wants me to go watch her, so I'm gonna go do that when we're done here. But they do like just a trail riding camp, but the girls like learn how to saddle their horses and groom them, and they ride every day. And they also do like a lot of summer camp stuff, which I think is the cool part, because like the kids get to experience the horses, but they also get to experience just like a summer camp type of thing. Which was honestly like my favorite part of going. It was like meeting all the other girls, and then like the next year that you went to camp, if you wanted to go to camp the same week as those same girls you met last year, you could request it and they would try to like put you in the same week, and that was really nice. Let's put up here. Okay, so I like to keep my watering cans in here because during the winter, I don't know if I'll do it this winter, but like last winter with Grace and all the beet pulp she ate, I could bring like hot water from the house in here. So I usually have like a few random watering cans sitting in here. Or I could get it from the hydrant, because usually the hydrant doesn't freeze. My buckets. I'm probably going to keep these in here. I have like some random stuff in here, like my lawn chair And my air mattress is just laying over here from the last time I went camping, so I need to throw these like up in my loft. So there's the chair. My air mattress has a hole in the bottom. I put tape over it, but it's still like not really holding that well. So if there's any companies out there that would like a free review of their air mattress, please let me know, because I need a new air mattress. Sugar, what are you doing? I have a granola bar that I didn't eat. Shug, you want it? Let's see if she'll eat it. Here, you want a granola bar? Shugs. Right here. Whoa, what do you have? Oh, yummy. Delicious? I'll take that as a yes, because she didn't spit out. Alright. I have a lot of trash. I like to save all my feed bags and just stuff all of the other feed bags and all of my trash in them to take to my burn pile. I don't know if I've showed you guys this, but I'm the trail boss for the saddle club that I trail ride with. And last year, as like my volunteer award, they gave me this really cool hoof pick with like a cross and stuff on it. That's like, it's like heavy, like thick. I don't know if it's steel. It's probably steel. But it's super cool, and you can like clip it to your saddle if you want. So I'm going to keep that up here somewhere so I don't lose it. I also asked you guys a couple videos ago, I think, about your favorite podcasts, because I have always been like a podcast listener. I've always liked listening to whoever's podcast because I kind of enjoy them, and like I do a lot of driving, so I like to listen to them in the car. But honestly, at this point, I'm really tempted to just make my own like equine podcast, because I've just like had a hard time finding any interesting ones. I've been listening to Equitheory by Jill Treese, and that one's pretty good. I do like, I like listening to her and her guests. And they're usually like decently long, which is one thing that I like kind of don't understand about some of these podcasts, is they're like 20 minutes long or something, and it's like, who is doing something for like 15 to 20 minutes that would think to turn a podcast on? I mean, when I listen to podcasts, I'm usually driving like at least a half an hour, or I'm at work cleaning stalls. I listen to them a lot for that. Or I listen to them all the time when I'm painting, like painting a room. So like more than 20 minutes, I don't get the point of a 20-minute episode. So Equitheories are usually like an hour, so that's really nice. But I just like, I want one with a variety of topics. It's not always going to be the same topics. I started listening to Stacey Westfall. Some of you guys, or one of you guys requested that. Stacey Westfall's had good information in it, but I'll be honest, she's boring to listen to. Sugar! I like Stacey Westfall. I like her training. I like the things she does. But, yeah, podcasting I wouldn't say is one of her highest skills, because that is boring to listen to. And, like, I never find any that are just really relatable. Like, for me, anyways, they're not that relatable. I like listening to ones that, like Jill Treese, her Equitheory thing is pretty relatable, because she's, like, the same age as me. So I kind of understand, like, where she's coming from on a lot of that stuff. But, other than that, like, I don't really hear anyone talking about, like, what it was like to grow up not showing, or like not in the show ring, or not taking lessons, or like how to learn things yourself, like self-teaching. I don't hear really anything about endurance. I know there was a podcast about endurance, like the endurance horse or the endurance, I don't remember. And that's like one of the sports that I participate in. So like, be nice to have a podcast about that type of thing, but I never hear one. And so I'm really tempted to start my own. And like, I could answer your guys' questions on it. So let me know what you guys think of that idea. I don't know if I'm going to do it yet, but it's a thought. It's an idea in my mind. And I think it would be fun. The only reason that like I hesitate to do it is because like literally everybody has a podcast these days. So it's like really another one. But at the same time, everybody has one, so why not just start another one? You know what I mean? Okay, there's my beet pulp. Guys, somebody wrote free to take on this bag of beet pulp at work. And like, one thing I think is really cool about the barn that I work at is people do that all the time. And at the last barn I was at, nobody did that. But at the barn I work at now, people write this free to take, or like they just like leave free tack and stuff laying around all the time. And normally I don't even take any of it because I just work there. I'm not a boarder. So like I don't usually take any of it unless it's been sitting there for like over a week and nobody wants it. Then I will. And somebody left that bag of beet pulp in one of the sheds and like nobody took it for days. So I was like, well, if nobody wants it, like I feed beet pulp, so I would take it. So I took it and it was really cool. And people will like, I took an English girth once because somebody had left an English girth with a note on it that said free on one of our benches for like weeks. It just sat there. And so I took that. Okay, this is my box of Christmas stuff that lives in here for whatever reason. I'm gonna move this. Oh, and there's a grasshopper. I don't know what to do with these saddles. If anybody has any ideas on what to do with old, pretty much unusable antique saddles, let me know, because I don't really know what to do with them. I've seen people make decorations out of them and stuff, but I don't want to leave them outside to just be destroyed. This one is actually usable. Two of them are usable. So this one doesn't have any stirrups or anything on it, but like the rings are all intact and stuff, so it could be used as just like a lead line saddle. I don't know what to do with them. I've just had them like hanging up for a while. But I'm gonna put them, I don't know, they're in the way in here. I don't really want to put them up there. There's that one. I've got this one, which is pretty much completely usable also. The leather is just really old and dry, and I don't think it'd be safe to use. This one, which is broken, so it's not usable. And I found those at the other farm where the Belgian girls live. Found them in a barn, like covered in straw and stuff. And so I unburied them and showed them to my boyfriend because it's his family farm. And I was like, well, his granddad owned Belgians and bred them, because I think he actually used them, like worked like the farm and stuff with them. And so I showed him like the saddles that I found, because I thought that was kind of weird, because he didn't ride the Belgians, I don't think. They just used them for field work. And so kind of asked, you know, where they came from, or like whose they were, and he has no idea, and neither does his dad. So just found those 3 old saddles. Nobody knows whose they are or where they came from. but kind of a cool, like, I don't want to call it an heirloom, but just like a family, you know, something passed down. So like, I don't want to get rid of them, but like, what do you do with them? They're basically junk. With Dillis before this, if you guys haven't been following, I have a client horse here. His name is Dillis, and my boyfriend hates his name, and it is kind of a weird name, Dillis. But when the owner dropped him off, she was like, yeah, that was his name before. I didn't name him that. Honestly, I don't think it's that bad of a name. I told my boyfriend, I was like, well, I had a horse named Soccer. And, like, people didn't understand that because we didn't name him that either. So that was his name when we bought him. And he, like, already knew his name so well. I was like, why would I change it if he already knows his name? So we didn't. But everybody kind of thought, like, you know, people who didn't know assumed he was named Soccer after, like, a soccer ball or, like, the sport. And he wasn't. He was named Soccer, like, after his 4 white socks. So his name was spelled S-O-C-K-E-R. So I was like, you know, I've had a horse with bizarre names too, so it's kind of whatever. Although, I will say, it is kind of a pet peeve of mine when people name their horses, like, without much dignity. Like something really weird, or something that they're, like, probably not gonna learn. Like, I like my horses to learn their names, and, like, to actually know their names. Sugar, 100% knows her name. She could be all the way across the yard pawing at something, and I will yell Sugar across the yard, and she will stop and look, because she knows I'm yelling at her ass. But she's had her name for so long that she's figured it out. So I don't really like when people name their horses something really kind of just cringy, like Noodles or something. And I haven't met very many that have weird names like that, but like Noodles or just like something weird like that. Like, come on. But I'm one of those people, and I think I said that in another video before, and people like freaked out that I was being a name snob or something. It's like, dude, sorry. I just think a horse should have a normal name so they can learn it. I think that Luna also probably knows her name pretty well. Fun fact, Luna's name, when I bought her the very first time, like 7 or 8 years ago, her name was Savannah. And I don't mind that name, but it was just kind of too long, and it wasn't a nice flowing name. It's another thing. I don't think names should be very long. I think they should be short and catchy, but long enough to learn. So I didn't know what to name her for the longest time because I knew I didn't want to keep the name. So me and my barn owner were kind of pondering like what we should call her, and she started calling her Luna. Well, we referred to her as Legs for a while because we didn't know what to name her. And then my barn owner kind of came up with Luna because of her one blue eye. And it just kind of stuck after that. When we bought Soccer and Sugar, Sugar's name was Eagle. And I didn't really like that. Well, I was only like 7 or 8, so I think my dad wanted to rename her. And so I came up with Sugar because she's white and she's brown. So like white sugar and brown sugar. And so that's just what we called her, and it's always stuck. So BB knows her name as well because I'll call her BB sometimes. Or right now she has been getting grain separate from the other horses, so I have her in with them. And at night, I will let her out in the yard to eat her grain away from everyone else, and I will just call her Beebs, and she will come up to wait at the gate for her grain. So BB definitely knows her name. I don't know if Oakley will learn her name, if that's too long or not. I definitely don't think she knows it right now. Hazel, I don't think knows her name either. Dolly, I don't think does, because they don't really respond to it. But like some horses, like have been through several homes in their life, and especially these horses that like you don't know their background, you have no idea like if they've had different names in their lives or not. Sugar, get out of those trash bags. And so like sometimes it can be hard because, especially like when I think about Dolly, like Dolly is an older mare. I mean, she's not young, she's definitely in her 20s. So it makes you wonder like if she had a name her whole life and then her owners just got rid of her, and so nobody knows what her name is now. And it's like she could know her name, but nobody else knows what it is. So you just like wonder if she had a name like for so long. Same with dogs. Like when dogs get, like when you find a dog on the side of the road, or like people that rescue dogs and whatever, that maybe grew up with a name and they probably knew what their name was, had the same name their whole life, and now because somebody dumped them, you have to give them a new name, and so they have to relearn a new name. And like I think that would be really hard. So like I also don't like renaming animals that I buy that already have a name. So like all of my animals that I have bought, I've kept their names. I guess except for Luna, because but Luna was only about 7 to 10 was what my vet guessed when I first had bought her. So she was still young enough, I guess, that I thought she could relearn a name. But all the other animals that I bought, like Sarah, I don't know if you guys remember my Project Halflinger Sarah, that was her name, and I think the people that had her before me owned her like most of her life, and her name was Sarah, so I was like, well, I'm not going to change her name, like she probably knows what it is. And Emma was an older horse, and she, I assumed, knew her name somewhat, so I left it. Who else have I had? Dixie, I don't think knew her name, or Grace, because they were just given those names by their recent owners. But yeah, it's really hard to say. What is your, leave down in the comment down below what your guys' horse's name is, because there's also some horses' names that I hear all the time. Same with dogs. Like some names are just super overused, and then some of them are really unique. Like I've never met another BB. I've never met, obviously I've never met another Sacker. I have met other Lunas, and I've met other Dollies. I think those are super common names. And then there's just like some names that are just really overused. Like I said, same with dogs. Now don't hate me if this is your dog's name, but some of the ones I think are super overused. Diesel, Bo, Axel, Bella. Oh my gosh, when I worked at the dog groomers, there were so many Bellas and Stellas and Lacey's. Oh my gosh, it was like, seriously, dude. Do people even know any other female names? There was so many. Trying to think what else. for horses, I think there is a lot of Lunas. Luna is a pretty common name for horses. I've met very few Sugars, a couple of them, but very few, which is kind of surprising because I feel like Sugar isn't a hard name and it's kind of cute. Lacey's and Macy's, I feel like, are very common. Blue, there's a lot of blue named horses. Coda, I feel like either Dakota or Lakota, there's a lot of those. Doc is a super common horse name. What else? So yeah, I think it's kind of fun sometimes to have a more unique name for your horse, or like one that you just don't hear all the time. But it's so hard to like pick a name. That's why I also really like, I'm literally using this bent skillet that I found in the woods as a dustpan right now. I really like when people name their horses, like their barn name after their papered name, which I don't know why they didn't do with Soccer. Soccer's registered name was A Blazing Image, and it would make so much more sense in my mind to name him Blaze, because it's kind of a short, cute name, and he had a big white blaze on his face, but they named him Soccer. Like, what? So I like when like their barn name comes off of their registered name. When it's like something completely different, I just kind of like, at that horse ranch that I worked at too and grew up at, a lot of the horses' names were after the names on their papers as well. Like we had one horse that we called Shiza, and kind of a weird sounding name now that I'm older, but like when we referred to her all the time, her name was Shiza, and it was pretty normal. But her name on her papers was, I think it was Shiza Sunshine Girl. So we called her Shiza. And then there's one horse there that's still there now, King's, it's like King's Magic Scott or something, and we call him Scotty. So it's just like, it's nice when like their name plays off of their registered name. I have been deworming my goats. Some of you guys told me to put, get them on like a free choice mineral, which I haven't done yet. But I did buy them some all-stock feed, so I've been giving them feed, which has like added vitamins and minerals, of course. And I think they look better. Like their hair is not as patchy as it was, so I'm happy about that. But it's gonna have to grow back, obviously. Are any of you guys obsessed with saving little scoops like this? I don't know why. Oh, there's a dead beetle. I save all of these from like all of the supplements and stuff that I feed. And I don't know if I'll ever find a use for them, but some part of me thinks that I'm going to. I do want to get a scale also, like just a small scale, if anyone has any recommendations. Because I'm really bad about like actually knowing the weight of what my horses are eating rather than just a scoop's worth. But I want to get a scale in here. Okay, this is much better than it was earlier. I still want to like wipe down the lids of my bins because they're gross. And I have a bunch of stuff laying all over outside the door that I'm going to have to put away. But this video is a half an hour long now, so I'm going to stop talking because I'm never going to be able to upload this. But thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope you enjoyed this little chit chat video. Let me know what you think about like starting my own podcast, if you would listen or not. And like some things that you would find interesting to talk about on there. But I don't know yet. I'm still thinking about it. I think it'd be fun because I can really just have a whole conversation by myself. But anyways, Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna get off here now and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.